Daybreak Thursday morning, and this morning we are discussing food allergy, and we have right here with us to help us explain or understand better what food allergy is all about. Folajimi Adebowale. Folajimi Adebowale is a medical practitioner. Good morning, doctor, and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Michael. Good morning, Ogechi. It's wonderful to be here with you guys.
Jidechi is what it is.
Dibechi.
Jidechi.
Jibechi. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I get it now. Yeah.
Okay, now, Doc, we know you are an expert in your field, but for the benefit of the man in the street, can you give us a layman's explanation of what food allergy is all about?
Okay, thank you, Michael.
Yeah.
So, food allergy is what we call a hypersensitive reaction to certain types of food. In most cases, it's different from food intolerance, and it tends to be more severe than food intolerance. Now, it's basically from the body's immune system. The body sort of misidentifies a particular substance as harmful to the body, and the body tries to reject that substance, and that is really what leads to this hypersensitive reaction, which we all popularly know as food allergy. So it's just the immune system that mislabeled or misidentified a particular thing as being dangerous, and in that process was trying to get rid of it. And that is basically what food allergy is about.
Okay, doctor, how can one tell when they are allergic to a certain type of food? Are there symptoms that you can tell that I'm reacting to this food when I take it? Are there particular things? How can one tell exactly how?
Yeah, good question, Jibechi. You see, basically, it's based on history and past experience. Allergies come with things like what we call hay fever or what we call allergic rhinitis, and it's basically when you begin to sneeze and your eyes begin to get watery and itch at the same time. Sometimes it has to do with some reaction on the skin, sudden swelling on the skin. We call it wheals and hives, severe itching, severe reaction on the sore throat, severe itching on the sore throat. In severe forms, it could actually even crash the blood pressure and lock up the airway, something we call anaphylactic shock. And that's like a medical emergency. So when you take something and you know the next day that like you are sneezing, you can't breathe properly, your eyes are watery and itching, you see this big itch on your skin, and you begin to itch it, and the more you itch it, it spreads. Okay, those are acute signs of an allergy to a foreign substance.
So in your line of work, have you come to experience maybe a severe case of, say, death, something that resulted as of food allergy?
Yeah, food allergy can be very severe and could be life-threatening in the sense that when you talk about what I mentioned as an anaphylactic shock, it can lead to death because it crashes the blood pressure severely. Another severe thing is when it causes spasm of the larynx, which is the airway. Suddenly the person is unable to breathe because the airway sort of collapses or shuts in. So such cases are very, very severe. At the same time too, there are certain drugs that cause severe reactions. Penicillins are known to cause severe airway restriction. Some people react to ibuprofen. Some people react to certain other types of drugs. Do you understand? So some food and some drug can cause life-threatening, and I've heard of cases, I've seen certain cases where a drug reaction can get somebody landed in the ICU, which is quite close to death.
Okay, the saying goes, prevention is better than cure. Now, going by this, how possible is it to prevent food allergy?
Okay, good question. There are certain things that go on with food allergy, but the final solution is total avoidance of whatever causes the reaction. For most people, initial reaction to a food allergy might be mild, and that is enough warning for most people to begin to abstain from that food. And when they do so, they identify certain food. I'll give you an example. In my family, my sister and my daughter, they react to eggs. And I remember when my daughter was a baby, we gave her eggs and she threw up. And she ate that thing and she doesn't throw up. And there was a time she had egg yolk touch her skin. And within seconds after the egg yolk touched her skin, she found it difficult to breathe. She was itching all over the body. Her eyes were watery and itchy. And it became a sort of like a domestic emergency at that moment. So food allergies, when you react to them once, you get to identify. The fear actually makes you want to avoid anything in that direction. And as time goes by, people that react to certain food are very careful when they eat outside. Sometimes they can even smell it that this thing contains egg, it contains groundnut, this thing contains seafood like shrimps that they react to. So these are the kind of things they know. So instinctively, they know what to avoid. However, if peradventure mistakenly they eat it and they react, they know what caused it, and they sort of rush to the hospital to get treated immediately.
Okay, doctor, now let's talk about, you mentioned earlier, you used the case of your daughter who reacted to eggs when she was younger. And I was going to ask a question about, is there really a difference? Who is it more severe for, children or adults? Do people tend to outgrow these things, or is something, once you're allergic to something, you're allergic to it for like the rest of your life?
Okay, thank you very much, Jibechi. First of all, it's more common in children than in adults. It's more common in male than in female. For some cases, because we also have allergic asthma, where a child could react to dust, react to smoke, react to strong smells like perfumes. And as they grow older, they sort of like get desensitized, and that's no longer a problem. However, it's possible that for no reason at all, in an older person, something that you have been eating all your life, you can suddenly develop an allergy to it. That's also another case. Then in certain cases, obesity has been found to sort of be a risk factor, a contributing factor to the development of allergy. Well, we believe in science that children that are breastfed have a lesser tendency to develop allergy. So in some cases, but not in all cases, in some cases there's a possibility that if a certain allergen is introduced to a child when they are very young, when they grow older, they don't react to it. But if they are not introduced to those little substances around them when they are very young, when they get a bit older, they will begin to react to those things. So children are much more at risk, males more than female. Then you could have it as a childhood, later it disappears. And for no reason as an adult, you could be eating something all your life, and all of a sudden, you can begin to react or begin to have allergic reactions to it.
Wow. All right. Now, Doc, how common is food allergy? How common is it?
Well, you see, a long time ago, I don't think it was an issue, but one of the problems we have right now in this part of the world is a group of non-communicable disease, which this will sit with it comfortably. There's an increase in the occurrence of allergies right now because there's a westernized angle to our current day living. In the US, 1 to 8%, depending on globally 1 to 8%, depending on the population, or let's say one in 10 person can actually be allergic to something or have something that they're allergic to in their lifetime.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, Doc, I was going to ask this, bring you back a little. We are thinking about food allergies, food intolerance, and I'm trying to really understand what's the difference between the two. Is someone who is allergic to a certain food, can you say this person is also intolerant to that food, or there's actually a defining factor for the both terminologies?
Okay, there's a loose overlap, but they are clearly, to a good extent, they are clearly distinct issues. Now, intolerance is basically, usually the symptoms are restricted to the stomach and the intestine. For example, lactose intolerance causes diarrhea. Certain intolerance can cause stomach ache. Then so when you talk about intolerance, it's restricted to the gastrointestinal tract, the stomach and the intestine. You eat it and you react to it. In case of allergy, you don't need to eat it before you react. You can just touch your skin and you begin to react. Allergy has a wider range of symptoms. It affects the airways, affects the skin, affects the eyes, affects the breathing, affects the nose. It could affect the blood pressure and crash it. So when you are...
Hello, doctor.
Hello.
Dr. Folajimi.
It's like we've lost him.
Seems to have lost him. But quite an interesting one right there. Allergies restricted, intolerance restricted to the stomach and the intestines, and allergies more, you could even just perceive it and you start reacting to that.
You see, I've been listening attentively to his explanations or his answers to our questions to see if I had once experienced it. I wouldn't know for you.
Actually, I react to pepper. Sometimes it doesn't need to be in large quantity. I profuse so much catarrh all of a sudden. It's one of the things I really do react. So I can't stay off. Okay, I think tea too is another thing I react to. I think after I started reacting to it, I stopped taking tea for a while. So I rather do beverage, do chocolate, milk, rather than have certain labels such as Lipton that we in Nigeria know very well and all those type of things. So I think those are the things I would say I react to. And it's quite interesting. You see many people talk about how they don't eat this, they don't eat that, not because they don't want to eat, but because of the way their body reacts to it.
That is very true. In my own case, the one you call draw soup, the slimy stuff.
Okay, okra.
Anything, okra, what's the other one? Is it obono or whatever? I can't eat them. When I do, I feel like throwing up. I feel like throwing up.
Wow.
Also, yam causes heartburn.
For you?
For me.
Interesting.
Honestly.
Just boiled yam or what type of yam?
Especially boiled, just yam. But the one funny thing there is, if you make a porridge of it,
it's not
no, that's cool. That's cool with me.
It's quite an enlightening one, because I mean, many people talk about how people that take milk are lactose intolerant, and they are faking these things. I'm actually lactose intolerant too. I react to milk a lot. Diarrhea.
You react to so many things.
I actually do react to so many things. And the funny thing is, I'm not so picky with food. You could say I'm one of those people that have coconut head. I know I react to some of these things, but I still want to take them. But like you said, sometimes it can lead to severe consequences when you neglect the fact that you react to these things.
Okay, well, we've been talking food allergy or food intolerance, whichever way. But don't get it confused. At least you heard from the expert there that it's a difference, slight difference between allergy and intolerance. Now, at this juncture, let's take a breather. We'll be right back with more for you on the show this morning.